Tell you what, guys, why don't you go build a bridge and jump off it?
Hey, yep.
This is my last video for 2024, and I think it has been an amazing year for me. Thank you everyone for just watching. I just am in disbelief that some people just want to watch my strange videos. Thank you guys for an amazing 2024, and I'll see you guys next year. Leader Class Legacy Blitzwing, in my opinion, looks really cool. I really like the design of Blitzwing, and I do think they did it well here. I actually think the robot mode looks better than his previous version, I think it was Titan's Return, I could be wrong, but I do think the Titan's Return is a good figure. I just think that this in robot mode looks better. Like, the sculpting is very nice. I really like all the panel lining on this figure. He has a very geometric but detailed silhouette to him. It's very cool. And this sculpting is consistent throughout the entire body. There's really no spot that is plain. It's all over him. It is really nice. And another thing that's all over him is plastic. By that I mean there is no hollow spaces at all, which is very nice and makes him very satisfying to just move around. He is completely filled in, which makes him feel so solid and so nice. His joints are very good as well. There's nothing really that's loose at all. Yeah, I just think he's a very solid feeling robot mode, which just makes him really fun to just pose around, especially with his head that can rotate all the way around, can look up that far, down that far. His arms can go forward, that much, back, not at all, and out to the side. There's a swivel above the elbow, 90-degree elbow bend, a wrist swivel, a waist swivel. Legs can go out that far, back that far, out to the side, a swivel above the thigh, more than 90 knee bend, a really good pivot, and toe down, and heel down, I guess. Posability on Blitzwing is okay. He has really good leg posability, and I really like the inclusion of a waist swivel. What's making me dislike the posability is the arms. They're situated in such a way that the shoulder pad doesn't move at all, which really limits the arm posability, which is quite unfortunate because the rest of him is pretty good in terms of posing. But it's not that bad, you could still get him into some nice poses. I'm just really being a bit nitpicky. But speaking of the shoulder pads, they are painted quite nicely. I really like this tan color that I have the plastic in. I really do like this overall color palette, just in general. He has some really nice painted details. It's really cool. As you guys know, I really like metallic colors, and I do think that this figure does pull it off very well. I do think that the lower legs are a tad plain, and I do wish they could have added just maybe some highlights or something, but overall, it looks amazing. The head sculpt is painted fully, and I do like the head sculpt as well. The only issue I really have about how solid this guy is in the forearms, where this doesn't really tab into place. It can come undone when you're messing around with him. It's not satisfying, to be honest. That could have been easily fixed just by maybe adding a tab somewhere, or just a place so it can lock in. So far, I really do like this figure, but it is quite controversial because it is at a leader class price point. Where, for example, here is him next to a Voyager class, my previous review, and yeah, he's just basically a Voyager. And anyways, here is him with a deluxe class and a leader class. It is crazy how these two are the same price. But to justify that price, he does come with some accessories. So he includes 2 guns, a sword, and 2 giant fists. The 2 guns are sculpted pretty well. They are completely unpainted, but they do look cool and they just look pretty generic. However, there is plastic nub things at the top, which is a bit weird. I feel like Hasbro shouldn't be doing that, and these guns can go in many spots. Obviously, you can go in his hands, but it can also go here, here, or here. What I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of ports that you can use for his weapons, which leads to a lot of possible poses. His sword is sculpted very nicely as well. It's painted very nicely too. Again, he can hold it in any one of those aforementioned ports. Now, these weapons are completely fine in my opinion, and they're very fun. What's not fun are these stupid giant inflatable hands. They are completely clear plastic and are painted purple. They do look nice if they were for like a combiner or something, but it's just so goofy and it's so weird. I don't like it at all. It does have some posability. I'm just confused why they just include this. I get that it's to justify the price, but ever since opening this figure, these have just gone in my closet somewhere. It took me a while to try to find these. The way he holds them is that there is this tab where you can just plug it into his fist, but you do have to rotate the fist to make it work. As you can see, it is quite fiddly, and it does not even look good. I'm not even gonna bother doing the other one. I would have rather than just not even include this, and maybe just included other guns, other swords, or maybe just more paint on this guy. And you can also take out the hand and plug it into the casing. Anyways, let's talk about the backpack. It is quite big. Basically, the entirety of the tank mode is stored here. I am sort of okay with big backpacks as long as it's solid, and it is. But anyways, since this backpack is just the whole tank mode, let's have a look at that tank mode and see how good it is. Transformation for Blitzwing is actually pretty fun. I do like it, and I actually find myself flipping through these modes just for fun. And that's really good. There's nothing I really have any issue with for transformation, and I do think it's just fun. And the tank mode we end up with is mostly good. I love tanks, and I really like it when Transformers are tanks. And this really does live up to it. It looks so nice, mostly, and I really like how it's mostly tan. I do like the color shift, and I think that's very cool. It's very nice how they differentiate this from the robot mode and from the jet mode with just colors alone. You can see the new detail. It's very cool, very realistic sculpting. It's amazing, and I really like how they sculpted the treads. Obviously, they don't roll, but they do have these small wheels. At the back, there's thrusters, which I don't think tanks have, but it's understandable that this has it. I'm fine with that. What's not understandable is this front bit. It's just really out there. This tank mode would have been so much better if this just wasn't there, or if this was just in a bit. I know the actual G1 model does have this nose, but I don't think it's protruding this much. This, in my opinion, is too much protrusion. It's too long, and it's really making me disappointed in this tank mode. That is literally the only issue I have with this tank mode. It has some really nice tank turret rotation, which the Studio Series Brawl doesn't have, and it can go up this much. And there's this nice Decepticon logo painted on the top. So, very nice tank mode. I do think it's better than Studio Series Brawl's tank, which does mean a lot, since I really like Bavis. Anyways, size comparisons. Here is him with a Deluxe class, a Voyager class, and a Leader class. And another thing that justifies Blitzwing as being a leader is the engineering, because he has a third mode, his jet mode. And let's get him into that now. And the jet mode we end up with is compromised. Let's talk about the positives first. I like the sculpting and the paint. It looks pretty cool. And I like the color shift, as I said before with the tank mode. I do like the fact that this is mostly purple. There are some nice Decepticon logos here, and the plain silhouette from the front does look pretty good. And that's about it for the positives. This jet mode is definitely the worst out of the three. That's because it is not aerodynamic at all. Not sure how this will fly. It is it has a very fat belly, sort of like me. But yeah, basically the entirety of the backpack is here. The same backpack that's on the robot mode. So you could technically remove this and have a pretty clean jet mode and a very clean robot mode if you want to sacrifice having the tank mode. And the front landing gear is a bit loose on my copy, but other than that, it's fine. The only issue I really have is this bottom bit. Anyways, let's get into some size comparisons. Here's him next to a Deluxe class, Voyager class, and a Leader class. He does have weapon storage. You can utilize any of the ports, so you have plenty of options to just store your weapons wherever you want. And these stupid hands can also plug into the back of the jet mode, where you have to open up these back thrusters so you can plug in the hands into that port right there. And you have this. Forgot to say these could also go on the tank mode as well. Well, anyways, conclusion. Yes, I know this figure is compromised a lot, which shouldn't be happening because it is a Voyager size for a Leader price point. Since it has such a higher budget, there shouldn't be that many compromises. And yeah, like this is definitely not worth the Leader price. Do not buy this full price. But the robot mode just has something about it. I think it just looks so cool. And the tank mode, I really like tanks, so that's a win for me. And the jet mode is just there. It's nice to have as an option. I don't know, there's just something about the overall figure that I just really like. It's solid as well, and it's fully filled in. Even though it's not worth Leader price, I would get it if it's on sale.